Greetings to you today. Welcome to our daily Devo for Wednesday, the 27th of December. I hope you will forgive me for being offline here for a couple days, at least as far as the daily Devo goes. I posted all the other things on Facebook that I normally post, and just thank the Lord for all that stuff He sends my way that I can send on to you. I hope it's encouraging if you're tagged in, plugged into to Facebook, either my personal one or the church one. Some of the stuff I put on mine, I put over onto both the church Facebook site as well as the International Mission Board site. Today's Devo is entitled "The Poor Widow's Gift." The Poor Widow's Gift. Mark 12 and Luke 21 are mentioned here. Mark 12, 43 and 44 are the verses that are quoted for us here. Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. They all gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all she had to live on. The world values wealth and people who have it. The Lord values faith and people who show it. That is a lesson Jesus taught as he sat in the court of the women and watched those making charitable donations, one of whom was a poor widow. In Bible times, women who lost their husbands were at risk. When a young woman married, she left her parents' living compound and joined her husband's. This meant connecting her economic and social well-being to that of her husband's extended family. If her husband died, she could be caught between her parents' and husband's households, with neither willing to provide her with food and shelter. That was the case with this widow. We don't know her name, but we do know she was in desperate financial straits. Nevertheless, she has come to the temple to give a gift. Jesus spots her entering the court of the women. According to later Jewish writings, 13 shofar-shaped containers with wide mouths and narrow bodies stood around the perimeter of this courtyard, each labeled for a specific type of offering. The widow is not alone. Many well-to-do people were also approaching these giving containers. We can imagine the scene as they slowly dropped one coin after the next into the horns, each coin clinking to the bottom and providing audible evidence of the size of their gift. When it was the poor widow's turn, it did not take long for her to drop in her two small copper coins, lacking the bright sound of the others' silver coins. She gave 2 lepta, L-E-P-T-A, 2 lepta, each worth a fraction of a denarius, the amount of money a laborer made in one day. That's a denarius. She gave just a fraction. Just a small fraction of that. The accounting of the world finds her gift to be of little consequence. What value were pennies in a world of $100 bills? But Jesus did not look at the size of the gift, but the faith of the giver. In Jesus' accounting, the widow gave more than the others. I have one picture in my mind as I read this. Back in 2001, in that time frame, Sue and I felt the call to leave. We were pastoring here in Johnson City. We felt the call to missions. It wasn't going to be overseas missions. It was going to be operating an office that didn't exist at the time, an office here in the States for overseas missions, to promote them, to send support money through, to look for those who also felt called to missions and help them get to the field. It was supposed to be that kind of thing. And we followed that. We resigned from here. Regretfully, we loved being here, but we felt this was God's call, and we thought it would be the call, his call on us for the rest of our lives. There's a lot of faith involved in the move. As we moved out to Indianapolis to open an office out there, kind of a central location, we did not yet have a place to live. That all took the day people were helping us load our moving van. We were faxing paperwork to the real estate agent out in Indianapolis, and we didn't sign all of that until we actually got there. We got there and things kicked in, and I quickly found out that it was not going to be what I thought it was going to be. I imagined being able to travel around and able to preach about missions, encourage people to support missions, become missionaries, those kinds of things. It became more of an office job. It became more of sitting at a desk, answering emails that never went anywhere, creating forms, redoing methods of operation, things of that nature. And that wasn't me, and it's still not me. If you could see my office, you'd know that's not me. But in that process of leaving, people from the church here pledged support money to us, and we appreciated that. But there was one lady in our church who was not well off. Sweet soul of a lady. And she came to us as we were trying to raise support for our going, and told us that she was going to pledge $5 a month to our support. Just like in this story, that's not anywhere near what we needed. Even if we had more people giving that amount, it wasn't enough. But the way she came to us, the way she offered it, the spirit in which she offered it. And later on, she said, I think maybe now I can give $7 a month. There were people who gave us much more than that. But in my heart, I valued her giving and her pledge to be praying for us at the top of the list. It was sweet. It was such a blessing to have her committing that amount to us, knowing that she wasn't, quote unquote, rolling in the dough. That's what this story reminds me of. And I can understand why Jesus would look at her, hear her 2 little coins go down the shofar horns, as compared to bigger coins and more coins going in from others, knowing their hearts, what those who had most to give versus those who had least to give, knowing the heart from which it came, Jesus valued her gift the most. And that's the reality. It's not what we give, it's what we have left that Jesus looks at and considers. Rich people say they got $1 million in the bank and they write a big check out for $10,000 to the church, to a ministry. It's a lot of money. But there's a whole lot more that they have. At the end of the day, I'm not the judge. You and I aren't the judge of their hearts. But that's how the Lord looks. You gave big, but what did you have left? What more could you have given? You didn't have much, but you gave a higher percentage of what you had with a heart for sacrifice in giving. That's kingdom standards, as I call them. Kingdom standards. Blessings to you today, and just know that when you give with a heart of generosity and your giving reflects that generosity, the Lord is pleased. Blessings to you today.